Aloha and welcome to the Bodhi Tree Hawaii. So glad you might be here with us online tonight. It's kind of hard to tell. We actually have an empty Sangha for the first time. Well, that's not quite true. I'm here and Amy will be here in a minute. I'm not going to make any announcements because there isn't much point in it. Hey there, Amy.
Hey there, Bob. Hey there, online people.
So I'm not making announcements, but if you ever do come to the Bodhi Tree Hawaii in person, we really do encourage you to use the upstairs bathroom because it's not broken this week. So if you were holding on and didn't come because you were worried about that, it's just fine. Oh, we have people here tonight, so wonderful. I guess I will make a few announcements before we get going. Hello and welcome. So glad you're here. Just so you know, we start streaming at 6 and we'll be bringing Amy on from Alaska. So we've already started tonight. You will not be on the stream. That camera only goes to Amy, who's our co-teacher in Alaska. So feel free to make yourself comfortable. There's a restroom out in the foyer if you need to use it. And it's really generous to come if you like the space and if you're grateful for the space. There is a box for Donna out there. Amy and I don't take anything, but if you feel that the work of the Bodhi Tree being here is good, that's there. So all right. So I'm going to switch to a different camera now. And we'll stand up and do some stretching. We do this for about 10 minutes before we get going. Make sure my timer's on. All right. Just allow ourselves to stand, maybe feet hip width apart for a moment or two. Let our knees be loose and gentle. Belly drop. Don't worry about it. You're not on camera. Nobody's going to see you online. Just allow ourselves to take a nice big breath in and exhale and simply relax into standing for a minute or two. We'll start to move in a minute. Just allow ourselves to be grounded, feeling our connection with the earth. We don't need to close our eyes. I tend to lose my balance if my eyes are closed, so I just look about 10 feet in front of me, just half-lidded. All right. And now let's just start moving left and right, just pushing off one foot, just sort of swaying, gently pushing. And see, we're just sort of rocking, feeling the weight transfer from the left to the right to the left, adding a little bit more. And as we do, letting our shoulders swing a little, which will make our hands move. We're just pushing off, letting our hands start to swing a little. If anything's uncomfortable, there's no need to do it. Pushing off, using our legs to drive our upper body. Pushing off one foot, pushing off the other. Our hands are getting a little more vigorous, maybe touching our shoulder and the small of our back. And if you want to get real vigorous, go ahead and really push and go over the shoulder. Using our legs to drive our motion. Coming up on one foot, up on the other. And allowing ourselves to slow down a little. And as we do, our arms drop. Just allowing ourselves to let them settle, coming to a stop. No more pushing off. Settling in again. And just standing and allowing ourselves to feel any tingling or sensation in the body. All right. Now, if your neck has any issues, you might not want to do this one. Let's put our hands on our hips, our head forward. And what we're going to do is we're going to breathe in and look to our right. On the exhale, we move, breath cycle, and then as we exhale again, look over your right shoulder as far as you can. Breath in, and on the exhale, move our head very slowly all the way to the left. Take a breath in, and as we exhale, look over our left shoulder. Again, if there's any pain in your neck or back, don't do this. Breath in and exhale slowly all the way to the right again. Breath in and exhale, looking over the shoulder. Breath in, exhale to the left. Breath in and exhale, looking over the left shoulder as far as we can. And allowing ourselves on this exhale to come back to center. Letting our arms drop. Just allowing ourselves to feel any looseness or tightness in our shoulders and neck. Let's just shake our hands. My hands feel like they need a shake. Just let them loose, let them flap around, maybe all the way up to our shoulders. And let them stop. Slowly. Okay, we're going to stretch a little. Again, if you have any trouble, there's no need to do this. We can put our hands together at our belly. We'll breathe in, and as we exhale, reach up over our heads. And come up on our toes if we're able. And inhale, exhale down. Inhale and exhale up. And stretch over to our right. Exhaling. Take a breath in. And exhale over to our left. Inhale and exhale straight up. Let our hands come down. One more time. Inhale and exhale as we stretch up to our toes. Yeah. Exhale down. Inhale. Exhale up and over to our right. Inhale and exhale all the way to our left. On the next exhale, all the way up and hold. This time, if it's comfortable for your back, big inhale, and we exhale, we're just going to let our hands come down. Use your knees to soften this. We don't need straight knees. And just allow ourselves to hang. If this is at all painful in your back or lower spine or anywhere, just go as far as you can. Don't push it. Letting our face and neck droop. Taking a breath in and feeling our back expand. Almost like we're filling a turtle shell. Big inhale. And on the exhale, raise up, but use our knees to push us up. We don't want to be pulling with our back. We don't want to injure ourselves. And let's just spend another 30 seconds standing. And now mindfully, let's make our way to our seats. And we'll do a 20-minute sit. Welcome. Let's just settle into a comfortable position. Perhaps our feet grounded on the floor, something where we won't get uncomfortable. Have you both meditated before? No? Okay, that's fine. We'll do a very basic, easy meditation. Are you both comfortable with your breath? Do you have a cold or something that might keep you from? Because sometimes when people have issues with breathing, we'll be doing mostly a body meditation. All right, just allow ourselves to become comfortable and settle in. You might want to wiggle a little, get yourself any tightness out, whatever works. Generally, we do meditate with our eyes closed, but if that's not comfortable, I suggest you look at about 10 feet in front of you, chin pointed down slightly, and our eyes half closed. We don't want to focus on anything. So for me, I would look at the base of the camera where the tripod is. And again, you aren't on any stream, so don't worry about that. And let's start with some relaxing breaths. This is not part of the meditation. This is to stimulate our vagal nerve. Take a nice deep breath in and hold, and then exhale slowly through our mouth, taking a little longer to exhale than we did to inhale. This has been shown to actually calm the body. And we'll do it again when we've exhaled completely. A nice big breath in through our nose. Hold briefly, but don't become uncomfortable. There's never a point we want to be uncomfortable in this. And exhale slowly again. And take a third and biggest breath in again. Holding, but not becoming uncomfortable. And as we exhale completely, let's just let our plans go for the next 20 minutes if we can. We needn't push them off. We're simply opening the door and allowing them to step through. All of that will go on its own. And let's just sit and be aware of all the sensations that involved in sitting. This is just being aware of our body sitting. We can feel the sense of weight, gravity holding us in, our connection with the earth through our feet and our sits bones, the temperature, cool or warm, whatever it may be to you. Sense of clothing on our bodies, the sense of our bodies in space, proprioception. We're aware of how our body is positioned, the sounds around us, visual patterns, whether our eyes are open or closed, all of these, all arising in awareness. Perhaps allowing ourselves to become aware of our breath, gently rising and falling. We aren't controlling our breath. We're not trying to breathe in or breathe out. Our bodies do a wonderful job. Just aware of the breath. Or if you prefer, the sensation of sitting, that sense of gravity holding us to our chair, our feet to the ground. Just allowing these sensations to be present as anchors that we can always return to. Thoughts arise, that's fine. They won't stop. That's what they do. We simply allow them to arise and pass while we stay with our body. If we are caught up in a stream of thought and we become aware of it, this is not a bad thing. This is the sign of a good meditator. Congratulations, you've noticed. And when we do, we might smile, allow ourselves an imaginary gold star for noticing, and return to awareness of the body, of the breath. We might notice other arisings, sensations in our body, sounds. All of these are welcome. We needn't push them off, and we needn't tell ourselves stories about them. We just allow them to be present, like guests at a party. We stand at the front door, just saying welcome, come on in, and turning back to the next guest. If it's helpful, we might note the sensation, hearing, or feeling, seeing, thinking. Whatever's present, simply allow it. And if we're carried away by it, as soon as you've noticed, again, smile and come back to the sense of the body breathing, the body being breathed. All too often, I pay no attention to my body unless I'm ill or have exercised a lot. I don't really notice it. But let's spend a moment noticing our body, allowing our consciousness, our awareness to begin at the top of our head. What does this feel like? Am I aware of my head, my scalp, my face? Is there tightness? May I allow it to soften? We continue in this way from the top of our head, moving down, allowing our face to soften, our neck to soften, becoming aware of our shoulders, allowing them to soften. They needn't carry us. We're simply sitting, being present with our body. Thank you, body. Allowing our awareness to move down our arms, to our hands, becoming aware of the sensations in our hands, whatever they might be touching, each of our fingers, returning back to our torso, allowing ourselves to become aware of our chest and our ribs, expanding and contracting with each breath, our spine keeping us upright, moving down again to our belly and diaphragm and hips, feeling the gentle rising and falling as we breathe. Again, feeling our sits bones connected to our chair, sense of weight on the back of our thighs, grounded by the earth. The curve of our knees, our lower legs, and our feet grounded, connected with the earth, and each of our toes. Allowing ourselves now to take in our entire body as a field of sensation. We needn't picture it. We're not imagining it. We're simply allowing ourselves to be aware of our entire body, breathing, sitting, hearing. There's nowhere to go, nothing to do, no one to be, just here, aware of our body, perhaps grateful it has been with us every moment. There's a line from a Mary Oliver poem, Wild Geese, I love to recall when I practice meditation of the body. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. Allowing ourselves to be present with our soft animal of a body, loving. In a moment, I'll invite the bell to sound and join the other sounds around us. There's no need to hurry back. Just allow our bodies to hear the sound of the bell and perhaps put a smile of gratitude on our lips that we've been able to spend a few minutes with this soft animal of our body. Thank you for practicing with me. We'll now take about a 7-minute break. You're free to stay where you are or go out on the lanai. It's beautiful. The restroom, of course, I think you might know where it is. There's also some water available there. We just ask that you don't bring open containers of water. If you have one that's closed, it's okay. And if we might, it is best to remain in silence during this, and I'll call you back with the bell, and we'll bring Amy back. Welcome back. We'll have Amy on in a moment and let her take, there she is. Hi, Amy.
Hey, Bob. Hey, Sangha.
So I guess we've had our break and we're ready for you. I'll change cameras and it's all yours.
All right. Well, aloha from North Pole, Alaska. It's been really warm here this week. Today was only -8, and I think we got up to the positives. So it's been nice. And you'd think I'm joking, and I'm not. It's been nice. Um, and it's an interesting perception on things, right? Just in September, I was living in Hawaii, and anything that was under 70 degrees meant that I had to snuggle up and put on layers and felt uncomfortable. And yeah, it's kind of an interesting theme it's kind of an interesting, kind of relates to the topic at hand. So I know some of you are new here, but we've been working on a series called The Paramis. And the Paramis, it's translated as the perfections, but that's not really, most teachers don't like look at it that way. I think it's like the qualities. These are these qualities that allow for our life to have more moments of freedom. These qualities that allow for us to have more moments of peace, more moments of ease. And we're on the final stretch here. So we're on the 10th parami. And so we started with many weeks ago, generosity, right? So the first parami is generosity. And I like to think of generosity not just in the financial way. You know, we usually think of it financially, to give away things and monetarily. But I like to think of it as generosity, like holding open a door. I like to think of it as generosity you could have a generous spirit when it comes to how you think of others. You could have a generous spirit and decide like, this person cut in front of me in traffic, and, maybe they didn't mean to. Maybe it's, when they cut in front of me, they're like, oh no, or maybe something was going wrong. You could have a generous attitude towards the actions of others and the generous attitude towards your own actions. You could see that like, oh, I was trying to do the best I could. So generosity is the first of these traits and qualities. The next one is integrity, showing up in a way that doesn't impact how we sleep at night. Showing up. I've realized through this series and one of these later on, how much I value like truthfulness and authenticity and stuff. When I am able to be truthful, then I feel safer to others. That's that, and also in Buddhism, right? Wise speech. That's one of the ways we can show up in life that can allow for more moments of freedom if we act in our own integrity. And then the next one is renunciation, which is essentially like letting go, being able to let go. Letting go can be all sorts of things. It could be simplifying our life and not having as many objects or buying as many things. It can be letting go of our, time on our phones. It can be letting go of It could just go on and on. I think to myself when I'm like caught up in my mind loops, right? And my brain is thinking a lot. I go back to these places where I'm like, where can I let go here? Even with my thoughts, I know, where can I let go here? In the morning when I get up, right? And my brain is a, a kerfuffle kaleidoscope of, oh gosh, what should I do? Because I need to get all these things done to get out of the house. And I start to think, okay, well, what can I let go of here? Can I let go of a little bit, and that can allow for more freedom. Oftentimes, when people begin to have sobriety in some part of their life, there can be a feeling of like that letting go is actually release. It can be tricky at first because we can be clinging, but that, you know, this is like letting go. The next one is wisdom. Wisdom in these practices is like seeing clearly, which is tricky. It's hard for us to see clearly sometimes. We get caught up in things or acting clearly. It's hard to know when we have delusion, but when we can see clearly, and oftentimes when we can meditate, there's more opportunities to make connections. For myself, I will find that I believed something deeply, and then I'll be sitting in meditation or spending time with spiritual community, Sangha, and having conversations, and all of a sudden, I'll be like, oh, I was really wrong. I was like real wrong here. I was I was not seeing clearly here. Um, and then there's effort, energy and effort. Um, and that's the next one. Let's see. And effort is like where we're putting our energy and effort. Are we putting it into sitting? Are we putting it into listening to Dharma talks? Or where are we putting that effort and energy? And how are we bringing it into our life? How are we bringing this energy into our lives and effort? Next one is patience. And after that is truthfulness, as I had said. And then there's resolve, determination. Resolve can be another feature that can allow us to move toward freedom. Sometimes we show up, for myself, showing up to things that are important, like I have a group that I sit with online, every weekday for the last 5 years. And there's plenty of times where I didn't want to show up. And I'd sometimes have it on in the background while I was on my phone. And then eventually it would be calling to me and I'd be like, fine, I'm going to put my phone down. I'm going to put in the effort. Other times I've been on retreat and my brain's like, done, I'm done. And I was like, no, stay. The effort we put towards things. And then the last one we did last 2 weeks was loving kindness. That's like, it's an attitude of care, an attitude of like love and understanding. And then lastly, here we are, the granddaddy, the big mama of equanimity. And equanimity is defined in all sorts of ways. So equanimity, I've got some definitions here from some of my favorite teachers. So Nikki Murgafiore defines equanimity not as indifference. It's the steady presence that allows love without attachment and care without collapse. It's not indifference. So equanimity is like balance. It's a steady presence that allows love without attachment and care without collapse. And then Matthew Bren Silver defines equanimity as intimacy with change. Change is tricky. Intimacy with change. It's letting experience be as it is without needing it to confirm who we are. Letting experience be as it is without getting caught up in, oh, who am I in this? And then lastly, Gil Fronsdal defines equanimity as the balance of mind that allows us to meet life fully. The balance of mind that allows us to meet life fully without being pushed or pulled by it. And actually, no, that was good. Okay. Yeah. So I think that equanimity can be brought into our lives as we're practicing all the rest of these. I think equanimity begins to feel like it's a presence here for us as we are practicing some generosity, integrity, as we're letting go, as wisdom enters us, as effort and patience, truthfulness, resolve, loving kindness. I think it all comes together in that way. So in our life, in this Dharma practice, the first noble truth is life is suffering. Life is suffering. Suffering is going to happen to all of us. It has happened. What's happening now? Maybe as you sit here, maybe there's a lot of like unease, either physically or emotionally. Maybe there's unease because of how this moment feels or how the past feels in our brains or the future. And this unease, this difficulty can be met with these qualities. And for my own experience, and you'll have to discover for yourself that maybe practicing these qualities and practice and involving some sort of spiritual practice to come back to the present, you can allow for more freedom. This suffering looks like anxiety and fear, shame. It's the unknown. It's frustration, impatience, loss of control, clinging, craving, wanting, lust, despair. I think I've had all those this week. I think I'm aware that I've had all those this week. And maybe that makes me sound like a pretty messed up person. But I think most of us are walking around as humans, dipping our toe in moments of despair. I don't really know how we couldn't in the way the world is these days and the way that we've evolved from these creatures that have been based out of survival. We're survival-based creatures looking for threat. And it makes sense. It made sense. It can make sense to look for threat. But it also, in our world today, you look around in any given moment, there's all sorts of safety. There's all sorts of things that keep us at ease and peaceful, but we don't see them. We miss them. There's a parable of the two arrows. And the first arrow is what happens to us in life. It's death and sickness, loss, impermanence, it's hardship. It's the inevitable pain of our lives. It's the difficulties that are going to happen in our lives. That is the first arrow. And it happens, from the moment we're born till the moment we die. We'll have moments like that. We can't stop that from happening, even though we wish we could. I wish I could give us all that. And then there's the second arrow. The second arrow is how we react to the first arrow. Imagine this first arrow hits me in the heart. And all of a sudden what my brain is doing, it's like, okay, problem solving. What do I do here? Okay, so let's Google all the solutions to what do I do to take care of this arrow? What did I do wrong that created this arrow? Oh my gosh, did I stand in someone's way? Why wasn't I fast enough? Or why is this, why does this arrow hurt? I'm tougher than that. This pain shouldn't hurt me. Okay, obviously, if you have an arrow in your chest, I'm being a little bit silly here, but this is what we do in real life. Something hurts, something happens to us, and our brains are all of a sudden examining all the ways we can make it stop, which makes sense, but also it can be an overdrive, especially now that we have technology to research, all these different opinions, right? It could be measuring all the ways that we should have known better. We should have known better to prevent this. I should have done this. I should have done that. I should have known better. Or we're blaming someone else. Okay, and if there's an arrow involved, maybe somebody else is at fault. Maybe not. I mean, I don't know, you know. But at the same time, we're putting all our effort and energy in that, maybe, like, you know, and there might be a good reason to do so with another person, just like there might be, everything here is the middle path. There might be a good reason to examine these things, but our brains get lost in it. I get lost in it. The moment I wake up, my brain is like, should I take this ADHD medicine? Should I not? Should I take this? Should I not take ADHD? Oh yeah, ADHD is not probably good for me. Oh, should I, you know, like, what do people like? What do I think about this medicine? Is it hurting me more? Is it helping me more? What do other people think about this? You know, is this just like the pharmaceutical industry? Is this like actually ruining my, maybe it's making my life better? Like that is in the first 5 seconds sometimes of my mornings. It's tricky to live inside these brains. I'm sure you guys all have your own set of that, you know, moment we wake up, or what is really tricky for me is as I'm falling asleep. Oh no, it's all the past, all the future, not a lot of the present. This second arrow we basically like stab in. Already hurting, let's just add another one. And we don't realize we're doing it. And equanimity and all these attributes, you know, they can really allow us to meet that first arrow. And not perfectly, but they just give a little bit of an antidote. They're a little bit of medicine that helps. A little bit of medicine. I have my notes in 3 different places. Who's neurodivergent? um, so I want to give a few phrases here that can help support equanimity. So these are some phrases sometimes that you can use in meditation. I'm not going to use them this time because I want to do a different meditation. But you can use these phrases for yourself or for others. Some of these are definitely designed to help us when we're trying to like control others, when we're trying to deal with situations, how to like let go of certain things in that regard. Because oftentimes we are trying to, anytime we're interacting with someone, we're usually trying to like tinker, well, with ourselves and with others to change things. We're trying to control. That's what a big piece of equanimity is. It's letting go of control. We know that we're not in equanimity if we're trying to control anything. So is everybody over there ready to become enlightened and let go of control? Does that sound good? Any fear with letting go of control? Yeah, you're ready to do it? Yeah, no problem. I won't have any fears or shame or anything like that. I'm ready to just let go of control right now. Bam. We just like, boop, I'm good. Enlightened. Done. Awesome. Well, for those of you that are still struggling with it like I am, it can be helpful to use some of these phrases. Like all beings have their own journey. All beings have their own journey, including myself. I have my own journey. Sometimes I'll say for myself or others, may I trust my unfolding? May I trust their unfolding? Whether I understand it or not, let's see, whether I understand it or not, things are unfolding according to a lawful nature. Whether I understand it or not, things are unfolding according to a lawful nature. All beings meet their joys and sorrows according to a lawful nature. So when they say the lawful nature here, they're saying like according to your own karma. According to, and karma is like the causes and conditions of our life. It's not like I've been a crappy person, so therefore like, you know, bad things are going to happen. It's like our nature and nurture. That's essentially what karma is in these situations. So like all beings are meeting their joys and sorrows according to nature and nurture. Another line that helps a lot for myself is things are as they are right now. That brings it to right now. Oftentimes when we're not in equanimity, what's happening is we are basically like, this is how it's always been, and this is how it's always going to be. Because that's what our brains are usually trying to make conclusions about. They're usually making conclusions about that. This is how it is. This is how it's always going to be. And so I'll drop in my brain that phrase right there. This is how it is right now. Right now. And that just makes it a little bit more palpable. It might suck. I mean, there's plenty of things that have happened today in the world and probably in your life that hasn't been great. I already know in the world it hasn't been great, and in your lives probably too. And if we take it with that one baby step, this is how it is right now. That can support us for meeting it, not adding that second arrow. No matter how much I might wish things to be otherwise, things are as they are. May I accept the conditions of my life with ease. May I accept the conditions of my life with ease. May I accept the rising and passing of all things with equanimity and balance. May I be undisturbed by the coming and going of events. And then some of these are for other people if we're having a hard time with what other people are doing. I don't know about you, but I've been having, I have a hard time with how other people do things in my family sometimes. One day, if they listen to this, they're going to be like, shut up. Uh, let's see. I care for you, but I cannot control your happiness and unhappiness. I care for you, but I cannot control your happiness or unhappiness. And anyone who's ever been in, codependency groups or AA knows that that's a definite part of that, right? There's a lot of things in those groups too that have these types of phrases. Let's see. I care for you, but I cannot keep you from suffering. That one's tough. It's really tough to be around people who are suffering and just let them. And sometimes it's the kindest thing we can do. And sometimes they think we're being, mean, that we're not doing more. They want us to come in and save them, come in and do something. But sometimes the kindest thing that can be is just to sit with somebody and ourselves and trust that the suffering is there. And just trust it to unfold. Trust that there's also goodness there, but let the suffering be there. Don't be jumping in to say like, oh, don't remember the good thing. Remember this good thing. Because that good thing can be true. Can definitely be true. But also the pain is true. We get afraid that if we accept the pain, that it will stay forever, or it'll grow bigger or become part of our identity. So I'm a therapist, and I haven't really seen that. It's possible it could happen. I guess it depends on how you're holding it. If you're holding it with this balance, with this wisdom, with this care, this trust, eventually the wave will rise and crest. That's what this practice has been for me. That's what my own therapy has been for me. I feel like it's been so supportive to find equanimity for my pain, to find all of these traits, all of these paramis, for all the hurt, crazy moments of my life and the lives I've witnessed in others. I don't know if there's any other way to hold the suffering of these lives skillfully and not grow cold if we don't eventually allow for that pain to be processed and felt. And here we do the balance. We create, intention on the body and the breath, so we can create this equanimity that can hold the storm. Hold the storm. Well, now, go ahead and put your hand out like a fist right now and tighten it. A tight fist, one hand. And then go ahead and put your other hand under it for a moment. And just notice how that feels to the other hand. For myself, I can notice I still feel tightly, but I feel it loosen a little. Just a tiny bit. That's what we're offering here. So that's what equanimity is offering. May we all accept things as they are. May I accept this just as it is. It is what it is. Yeah. Okay, let's sit. Go ahead, and if you need to take a minute to stretch, move around a bit. Probably sit for about 15-ish minutes, maybe a little less. Allowing for some ease. And in this time, you can listen to my guidance, or you can return to what, the guidance that Bob gave you earlier. Or you can do your own practice. Just for a moment. I'll quote Vinnie Ferraro, just for a moment, just sit here, don't meditate, don't do anything. Just let your body be here with your mind. And similar to Bob's body-based practice, we're going to do something a little similar. And I'm only going to guide lightly, meaning there might be more spaces of silence. Choosing a part of the body to focus on. Invitation to choose a part of the body to focus on that feels some lightness or ease. And by focus, I mean just turning the attention there. Don't have to describe it, feeling into it. Maybe it's easiest to go to the breath or the belly with the breath, or the nose. If you need some support, that can be an easy place to go. Sometimes the hands can feel uncomplicated, tingly. Just choosing one place as home base in the body. And then allowing the attention to go wherever the sensations in the body arise. Maybe it goes to legs or hips if they feel tight, feeling that there. Maybe the brain starts to get caught up in something. You start to think, and then you notice, where's my body? They're thinking. Oh, it's in the brain. I feel it in the head. Maybe there's energy that happens that's like sadness, frustration, unease, anxiety. Where's that now? Just letting a kaleidoscope of sensations occur however they show up in the body and letting the attention go there, getting curious about this body. And if that feels too complex to try to like feel the body, some people have a hard time doing that. You can just return to the breath or do your own practice. If some body sensation becomes too difficult to be with, can titrate and focus on something more pleasant, or open the eyes, gaze lightly. This isn't meant to be overwhelming. If it's okay to stay with a body sensation when it's a little tricky, go ahead. If thoughts come in, let them go, see them, and feel the body. Can these phrases of equanimity be alongside the body's energy as you pay attention to it? Can these paramis be alongside whatever occurs? If any parts of the body are unsettled, you can shift and move or place a hand on that area. That can be wise action. You do not have to be good. You do not have to walk on your knees for 100 miles through the desert repenting. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. Tell me about your despair. Tell me about despair, yours, and I will tell you about mine. Meanwhile, the world goes on. Meanwhile, the sun and the clear bubbles of the rain are moving across the landscapes, over prairies and the deep trees, the mountains and the rivers. Meanwhile, the wild geese, high in the clean blue air, are headed home again. Whoever you are, no matter how lonely, the world offers itself to your imagination, calls to you like the wild geese, harsh and exciting, over and over announcing your place in the family of things. No matter whoever you are, no matter how lonely, the world offers itself to your imagination, calls to you like the wild geese, harsh and exciting, over and over announcing your place in the family of things. You do not have to be good. You do not have to walk on your knees for 100 miles through the desert repenting. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. Bring
Thank you, Amy.
Okay.
So if you've been joining us online, thank you. We're going to end the stream now. and we'll switch to sharing in the Sangha or questions or whatever. Thank
Or
you so
whatever is
much
good.
for being here.